So here we go. Can DeShaun Foster shake off this idea that he is near the bottom of his Big Ten coaching brethren of an 18-team league? I was looking at a CBS Sports article which ranked the Big Ten coaches. Obviously, DeShaun Foster, no experience. The way it came in, the way UCLA started last year, how the recruiting numbers had been from Chip Kelly, it seemed like UCLA was a program in turmoil, a joke, whatever it might be. You look at the CBS Sports article where it had UCLA ranked as, okay, or DeShaun Foster ranked as a coach that says, hey, they're 17th out of 18, all right? In an article, listed by USA Today, DeShaun Foster is ranked 17th out of 18 teams in terms of head coaching and the head coaching rankings. So looking at this article written by USA Today, Paul Meyerberg, on the day I dropped this podcast, here are the top coaches. Ryan Day, going to get all the love because he won the national championship. You throw in 2, James Franklin. The guy never wins anything, but his team's decent enough. 3, Kirk Ferentz. He's been there forever. Iowa punches above their weight class, but they don't do anything. Dan Lanning. They want to put him in there, but he hasn't been in the Big Ten long enough, and he didn't win a playoff game, but he's 4th. Okay, we keep going. Matt Rule, 5. Interesting. They give him a lot of credibility for what he's done before, but that's where he's at. Kurt Cignetti is already number 6. You take Indiana to the playoff once, you jump into a top 5 coaching class in the Big Ten. PJ Fleck. I know some of the Big Ten, Locked On Big Ten brethren in my Locked On podcast network. Some of them are like, man, Minnesota, PJ Fleck is a joke. And he almost came to UCLA, and he's supposed to be the 7th best coach of the Big Ten. They play hard, they're rough, everything, but he's ranked 7th, which means you got Brett Bielema, 8th. Interesting. Lincoln Riley as the 9th best head coach in the Big Ten. That's laughable. That's so funny. Not like laughable, like, oh, that's a joke. It's just funny laughing at USC. It's like, we believe in Lincoln Riley, who's been 1 year away for 20 years, it seems like. Will he actually break through? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't believe it. So their big splash hire is not even cracking the top 5 coaches in his own conference when he's supposed to be a top 5 hire in the country. He's not even cracking the top 5 in an 18-team conference in the Big Ten. Greg Schiano getting a lot of love for being the coach at Rutgers from what he did before at 10. Luke Fickell at 11, hot seat maybe. You've got Jonathan Smith, Barry Odom, the new guy going to Purdue from UNLV, Sharon Moore at Michigan, 14th, Jed Fish, Mike Loxley at Maryland, who hasn't done much, and DeShaun Foster, 17, just ahead of David Braun at Northwestern. It's fair. It is fair at the moment to not have much love for DeShaun Foster, all right? But if you want to project, all right, there are some coaches on this list that could be on the verge of being on the hot seat, right? A bad year or 2 for Minnesota, PJ Fleck, as much as they love him, maybe that's not the right fit. You look at Northwestern, okay, the interim coach in David Braun, maybe it's not the right fit there. Mike Loxley is close to being on the hot seat. Luke Fickell, for sure. What guarantees the second stint of Greg Schiano is better than a DeShaun Foster who is trying to implement something that UCLA has been missing? Generating a buzz, generating a continual support for the local talent, a home for the local SoCal talent to stay and develop, right? What DeShaun Foster is trying to tell these guys in Los Angeles, the greater Los Angeles area, down to San Diego, all the way up north to San Francisco, all the way to Sacramento, in the greater western region of the United States. Hey, stay home. UCLA had more players drafted in the NFL than USC. All right? This year. Okay, they'll be like, yeah, a year ago, USC had the number 1 player in the country. Okay, yeah, Caleb Williams came from Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley. That's not exactly the same thing as churning out NFL talent year after year that's been successful. UCLA has been finding ways to develop. Now, yes, some of that came with the Chip Kelly era, but DeShaun Foster has now been there quite a few years. His first year as a head coach, obviously. The Bruins throw out 5 guys in the draft. A lot of defensive guys. And that was a year after they got a defensive coordinator and still brought in an interim in-house hire, and Akaki Molloy was the right guy to keep as the D coordinator for UCLA, and hopefully he continues to churn out good results. Now, the thing is, UCLA, they don't have to go after super 5 stars. The guys that are underrated, that are 3 stars, 4 stars in SoCal, are super talented. You just go raid the rosters of the Mater Deis, the Blascos, find the best players at the Mission Viejos of the world, the Corona Centennials. Oh, look, by the way, Ventura County, they play really good football over there. Brady Smeagol is going to Michigan. One of the top uncommitted prospects, I believe he committed the other day, in 2026 at the quarterback position. UCLA was in on him after they went full-on Iamaleava. And now UCLA, with an emphasis on high school recruiting, mixing in, oh, we can go get the top recruit in the country at the transfer portal at the spring window. They can go get a Nico, a 5-star. And now, if you're looking at certain recruiting rankings in the transfer portal, look at rivals, UCLA is top 5 and the best running back available in the portal at the time, Javian Thomas from Cal. Let's go get that guy. They do. Let's overhaul our secondary. Complete overhaul. Bring one guy who can return. Absolutely. Let's do that as well with Roderick Pleasant. You bring speed. You bring enthusiasm. A whole new staff. And this list from USA Today looks like UCLA could see their head coach climb quite a bit. Obviously, yes, 17th is a rough ranking. Some of these rankings, I don't understand why some of these guys are much higher than others, especially with limited opportunities and short approaches. Like Matt Rule hasn't done anything just yet to be a top 5 coach at Nebraska specifically. But are you doing your tenure, your history, or what have you done for me lately? And if this is a list of what have you done for me lately, that's why Curt Cignetti would be arguably the 3rd best coach in the Big Ten, and why Matt Rule would be still working it up. And another reason why Lincoln Riley is a middle-of-the-pack head coach, like some might be starting to say, he might be on the hot seat if USC has another middling season in 2025, or is his recruiting success in 2026 going to push him up this ranking list? Is that going to do the same thing for DeShaun Foster? Because I remember talking with Spencer of Locked On College Football, and I believe the over-under for the win total for UCLA, the expectation is bowl season or bust, not, 3-8, 4 wins. No. Now let's get to a bowl. Obviously, we'll see how Nico performs. We'll see how the O-line performs. Can the Bruins generate anything defensively and be led by their offense after a couple of years of dominant or adequate defensive play? DeShaun Foster, is he the worst coach in the Big Ten? There were some decisions early on in week 1 and early on in the season that it's like, I don't know about his game management just yet, right, in this first season. But hopefully he learns with those adjustments. But when it comes to being a CEO type guy, leading and bringing the energy, getting his guys to play despite a poor start to the season against one of the most treacherous non-conference road stretches and conference schedules I've seen in quite some time with UCLA heading to LSU, playing number 1 Oregon at home, going to Ohio State, still having to travel and navigate to Hawaii, go across the country to Rutgers, and do that just multiple times, go to Penn State again and again. And DeShaun Foster got his kids to play. Sometimes the calling card of a head coach is who can motivate his guys to play, keep them ready to go in the late seasons. And while he learns, you learn on the job. You learn really quick. So hopefully DeShaun Foster can make that transition from year 1 to year 2. Game management, if that takes another uptick in improvement, you bring in some talent. You bring in his own guys. Last year, there's still a lot of Chip Kelly guys in the program, in the coaching system. A lot more of his guys, a lot more of his philosophy with his buzz. We want to be talked about. The haters. Bring on the haters. We're bringing Nico. We're bringing his brother. We're bringing the Iamaleavas. We're bringing some buzz to week 1 when they're going to play Utah in late August to the Rose Bowl. It'll be toasty. It'll be spicy. The weather outside in Pasadena will be, and so will be the eyes on UCLA's new quarterback and what UCLA is going to do with DeShaun Foster. Did they make the wrong move in hiring this guy and bringing in Nico, all these things, or is it all something that UCLA needed, a complete pivot away from the Chip Kelly ways? I don't care. I just want to coach football. DeShaun Foster's like, no, we're in LA. We're in Westwood. We're playing in the Rose Bowl, for goodness sakes. And I think that approach, his actions more than his words at Big Ten Media Day, will speak louder, and hopefully that's what the Bruins do in the gridiron this year. Is he the worst coach in the Big Ten? He has nothing on his resume yet that's proven that he can work up there yet. But I think this is a year we can start to say, wow, DeShaun Foster, he went from that team in that situation, and they've got a winning season, near a bowl season, and a winning season potentially in year 2. That's got to be one of the better coaching jobs in all of college football with what he was dealt with. A late departure from Chip Kelly in the 2024 year, having to scramble to get players for this year, next year, and then rework everything with the portal and NIL and still getting the support. Yeah, I think DeShaun Foster is very underrated. Of course, yes, bottom tier of the Big Ten for now, but let's look at those rankings come December. Let's look at those a year from now. He's 17th out of 18. I'd like to see him climb at least 6 spots, 8 spots. And if UCLA surprises Indiana levels, DeShaun Foster would be coach of the year. I'm not saying that's happening right now. That's way too early, way too much hype. But DeShaun Foster has the potential to significantly improve his resume and his, connection to the UCLA fans. A little up in the air with bringing in Nico for sure. But he's swinging for the fences. And that's something that I'm not sure Chip Kelly did consistently enough. Other than Dante Moore, he didn't really do that. DeShaun's like, no. We got this, and we're going to make it happen. And hopefully they do, which is why you should be here in Locked On UCLA. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Any other commitments, anything else, we will talk about it here in Locked On UCLA. So get your hands up, Bruins fans. 8 clap time, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA. Fight. This has been Locked On UCLA. Like, comment, subscribe, download. Thanks for your support. Zach signing off. Go Bruins.